Hi, welcome. It's Zoe and Joe here, and we are here today to talk to you about the differences between each of the different coaching qualifications. We know many of you will be looking to do some coaching study this year, but we also know how overwhelming it is to try and choose and sift through all the different options that are on the market, and it can become really confusing when you're trying to make that decision. We also know that you want to buy with confidence and feel really excited about your decision. So we want to reduce the overwhelm and share with you some information.
So you'll see courses that are accredited by the Institute of Leadership and Management, the ILM, and they offer levels 3, 5, and 7. And we, Zoe and I, or in good company, offer all three levels. So we can talk to you with confidence about the difference between those three levels. And I've had lots of conversations with people training with us this week to help them identify which is the right level for them. So if we start with level 3, that's an introductory level to coaching. So the level 3, we offer a certificate in coaching. And that's a number of modules that cover the basics of coaching. So what is coaching? What is mentoring? What's the difference or the overlap between them? There's some goal setting exercises in there. So it'll cover the basics, but it won't go into the deeper levels of coaching psychology. When we get to the level 5, ILM level 5 coaching qualification, that diploma is for people who are maybe in in-house roles. That could be HR, change managers, that have a lot of one-to-one conversations with people, and they want to make sure that they are, holding that space and developing others in a way that's really useful. So that level of qualification goes much more into values, and that might be career values, relationship values, life values. It goes into how do you help somebody to identify their belief system. So what are the beliefs that might be limiting them in some way? What are their empowering beliefs that are really helping them to live the life that they want to lead, either as managers, leaders, or individuals? And also gives you, in our course anyway, an introduction to some of the coaching psychologies like neurolinguistic programming, Gestalt, transactional analysis, cognitive behavioral coaching. The level 7 is really for people that want to coach at a senior and executive level. So if you want to be coaching people who are in heads of roles, CEOs, or people that run their own businesses, then the ILM level 7 qualification will be the right qualification for you. And Zoe can talk to you, or is going to talk to you, I think, about the number of hours of coaching practice that you need to complete for each of those levels.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the level 3, as Joe said, this is a foundation, it's an introduction. And so for the certificate in coaching, you just need to do 12 hours of coaching practice. So that's finding up to 2 people for you to do 6 coaching sessions each, of an hour each. And you'll walk them through some of the tools and techniques that you've been using through your ILM level 3 studies. If you're looking at the ILM level 5, you're going to be doing 54 hours of coaching practice for the diploma. So you can really see the difference there in the, coaching experience that you're going to get. And we always say to people who think about being coaching, the only way you become really good at coaching and become a world-class coach is by coaching. Like, you can't gain the all of the answers just by doing the study. Like, you have to do the in-person one-to-one practice, because you learn so much from actually doing coaching. So you can see the jump there. And the ILM level 5, yes, it's for people who are in those in-house roles having lots of conversations. And this may also be for people who are thinking, do you know what, at some point in the future, I think I'd like to go freelance and I'd like to do that. You have to get, a good amount of coaching hours to be able to do that. For level 7, it's 60 hours of coaching at a senior and executive level. So you're looking here at a similar number of hours, but the remit of responsibility that the people you're going to be coaching are going to have is going to be large. And there are differences between coaching executives and coaching, say middle managers, for example. And on the level 7 course, we will talk about the differences and approaches. And I say one extra difference with the level 7 is you start to get much more in depth around the psychodynamics of what happens between coach and coachee, and also looking at the wider system. So how do you bring in what we call the systemic lens, so what's happening in the context? And a great example of that, as we record this, we're in the midst of a pandemic. There is so much systemic impact that people are drawing into their lives, and as the coach you would start to use that in your coaching as well. So that's the qualifications from the ILM perspective. What you may also see is that courses are accredited by a coaching body, and ours are also accredited by the EMCC. So our ILM level 3 is accredited at foundation level, our ILM level 5 is accredited at practitioner level, and our ILM level 7 is accredited at senior practitioner level. So for those of you who think you're going to have a career in coaching, like Joe and I, so we've been coaching now for over 10 years, we're master accredited coaches with over 1,000 hours of practice each, I would encourage you to consider the highest level of coaching qualification, which would be the level 7 accredited at senior practitioner, because what that means is as you develop through your career, you'll be able to work your way up the ladder of accreditation. And if you don't know what we're talking about, please go back and watch our former video where we talk about the difference between course accreditation and coach accreditation. But you'll be able to walk up the ladder and easily accredit yourself to that senior practitioner level as you gain experience in coaching one-to-one, as you gain experience in the learning that you do, and also having supervised practice, which is an additional difference in the program. So all of the coaching that you do on our programs is supervised. So even as a level 3, when you're doing your 12 hours of practice, you get 2 sessions of supervision. Then when you move into the level 5, you have 3 hours of supervision, and we are qualified supervisors, and our team will all be qualified supervisors as well. With the level 7, you actually get 5 hours of group supervision and 3 hours of one-to-one supervision. So you'll see actually that supervision takes on a much broader part of your learning. And that is because in the supervision space, we start to expand your learning and your awareness of those psychodynamics between coach, coachee, and the system that I alluded to earlier. So it's a really in-depth program.
Yeah, and one of the questions we often get asked is, do I need to start at level 3 and work my way up? Or can I just go in at level 7? Because I want to get level 7 accredited, or a level 7 accredited program. You can go straight in at level 7. We will ask you about, what's your experience of coaching? Have you had a coach yourself at some point in your career? What do you know about coaching and mentoring? And we would help, obviously, to make sure that you are choosing the right level for you. But you can also start with the level 3 and progress up through to the level 5 and through to the level 7. But there's no need to do that. If you have the commitment, the capacity, all the resources that you need, you can go straight in at level 7. Each of the levels of qualification have 3 different assignments to do that are all along the same themes, but are targeted at slightly different elements. And the coaching hours you do, as Zoe mentioned, are with different levels of people, really, for each of those different qualifications. So yes, you can start at any level that you want to do, although our qualifications are structured so that the 3 moves into the 5, which moves into the 7. And our level 3 is self-guided, but the level 5 and 7 are facilitated sessions where you get to practice with a cohort, with tutor observation to be able to give you feedback. So it's a different level of coaching development. But it's a very clear structure to coaching qualifications, which I think is really easy once you've got your head around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say for any of you thinking about doing a coaching qualification is to look at how you like to learn, right? So small groups, big groups, blended approach, in person, which I know is restricted right now. But really, I'd say the most important thing is to feel a connection with your facilitators, because ultimately your journey as you learn to become a coach is going to be a series of highs and lows. There's going to be weeks where you're like, I've got this, I know what I'm doing, this is great. And there's going to be weeks where you think, oh my God, why have I done this? Why have I embarked? I'm way out of my depth. And really, your facilitators are there to support you 100% of the way through your journey, and to make sure that when you reach the end, you're really confident about stepping out and calling yourself a coach and using your coaching qualification with the goal that you had in mind when you started. So
it's
there you go.
A very personal experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully transformational too. So personally transformational whilst learning how to help and develop others. For Zoe and I, it was the best experience in our lives to train as coaches, and the return on investment that we've had from that, professionally and personally, you can't put a figure on it. So if you're thinking and you're hesitating, but you have values around learning, growth, connection,
helping others, making a difference, impact, legacy,
then you'll be in good company with
yeah.
us or whatever program you choose to do. And we'd be so excited for you to be able to start.
Yeah, and in fact, if you aren't already a member of our group, do come and join us inside our Facebook group, The Coaching Crowd. It's full of people just like you. If you're watching this, you can absolutely find your tribe inside The Coaching Crowd. Yeah. There's people like Joe and I in there, experienced coaches who have their own businesses. There's complete beginners. There's line managers. Something for everybody inside there, and we share videos like this every single week inside The Coaching Crowd, and we have a vibrant community of people all there to support each other. So do join us. It's a great place to be. And if you also are interested in finding out more about our qualifications, you can go to our website, which is www.igcompany.co.uk.